Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, the Congressional Budget Office is hit by a security incident, and a federal watchdog deems CFPB's cybersecurity program not effective after recent staff cuts. It's Friday, November 7th, 2025. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. All right, let's dive into the day's top headlines. The federal agency that supplies budget and economic information to Congress has suffered a cybersecurity incident, reportedly at the hands of a suspected foreign party. A spokesperson for the Congressional Budget Office acknowledged the incident Thursday after the Washington Post reported the office was hacked, with the attackers potentially accessing communications between lawmakers and researchers at the agency. CBO spokeswoman Caitlin Emma said, quote, "The Congressional Budget Office has identified the security incident, has taken immediate action to contain it, and has implemented additional monitoring and new security controls to further protect the agency's systems going forward," unquote. Congress established the office in 1974 to serve as a nonpartisan research organization for the legislative branch. Republicans took aim at the CBO this year when it assessed that a GOP tax and spending policy bill would add trillions to the national debt, prompting conservatives to criticize its conclusions. It's not unprecedented for unauthorized parties to obtain access to sensitive information from congressional offices. Hackers who broke into the Library of Congress last year were able to read email correspondence with offices on Capitol Hill. And a breach of a health insurance marketplace 2 years ago exposed the data of House staffers. The CBO requested a budget of $76 million for fiscal 2026, which is an 8% increase, and nearly half of that increase would address increased costs to enhance the agency's cybersecurity and IT infrastructure. The office's spokeswoman Emma said, quote, "The incident is being investigated and work for Congress continues. Like other government agencies and private sector entities, CBO occasionally faces threats to its network and continually monitors to address those threats," unquote. Now moving on to other news, the Trump administration's ongoing decimation of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has rendered the agency's overall information security program ineffective, a federal watchdog revealed on Monday. In an audit of the CFPB's cybersecurity program, the Federal Reserve's Office of Inspector General found that the agency is no longer keeping up with its authorizations to operate many systems and is using risk acceptance memorandums without a documented analysis of cybersecurity risks. As a result of those floundering protocols, the Fed OIG said that CFPB's overall information security program has declined to level 2 maturity in fiscal 2025, down from level 4, calling the agency's overall cybersecurity program not effective. Backsliding on these security measures can be at least partially attributed to a loss of contractor support for continuous security monitoring and testing per the audit, as well as the mass exodus under the Trump administration of CFPB staff. Despite the staffing constraints the agency finds itself in, the OIG credited remaining CFPB employees for taking some steps to maintain and strengthen its information security program. The audit pointed specifically to updated and formalized processes for how the CFPB should respond to possible ransomware incidents, in addition to weekly meetings between the senior agency information officer and system owners to help manage cyber risks. The CFPB is also working to decommission and modernize legacy IT systems, the audit stated, though outdated software on the agency's network is still in use. So outdated, in fact, that vendors are no longer pushing through security updates or patches. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, make sure to visit fedscoop.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back next week with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.